Okay, so I finally ended up buying some AirPods. On Black Friday they went down to just over £130, and I've been waiting to get AirPods ever since trying these QCYs really, which gave me sort of my first taste of trying Bluetooth earpieces. I mean, these are about £4 or £5, very, very cheap, but actually sound alright. I would never listen to music on these, but for podcasts, for me at home, if I'm doing working around the house, doing my bike or something like that, I'll put a podcast on. And for speech, the sound is very good, the battery life is reasonable, the comfort is good for me. I don't really get on with many in-ear headphones, but with these, I found them really comfortable. So that's the QCYs, and it's just a mono one. Although there's two here, I ended up buying a second one because the battery life's not great. So if one ran out, I would just turn on the other one and then charge it. And that's worked alright for me, but as I say, I wouldn't use it for music, and so that was the reason I ended up with the AirPods really. So I tried the i7. Now, these are huge. I mean, they don't look it probably in the video, but if I compare it to an AirPod, well, let's compare it to the equivalent one. They are much actually don't really fit very well in my ear. The range on the QCYs that I tried before were good. The range on these is terrible. I can have it in my pocket and in my ear. Now I'm over 6 foot, but it's not that far away, and it breaks up. But that said, it was £3.49, and it sounds okay, again for speech only. Now, the only little worrying part is, it's £3.49, so there's no worrying part. But this type of connector for charging, obviously if that goes, then that's it. But then, to be fair, leads usually cost more than that. With the QCYs, they use a micro USB, which is quite handy. So if you want something really cheap, I would say the QCYs are worth buying. They really are good, but just for speech. The i7s I wouldn't really recommend, only because, well, for me they're too big for my ear. I really like the fit of AirPods, and because they're too big for my ear, they're not really that comfortable. The range isn't that great, but at £3.49 I'm still going to use it. I'll put it in my bag at work, so if I'm watching a video on my phone, it'll be fine for that, so I don't have to disturb anybody else, and if I lose it or I break it, it's not really an issue. Now, with AirPods, obviously the retail price in the UK is £160, which is quite a lot, but actually after trying them for a day, I think it's worth it for my use, because they do sound good for music. The fit is perfect for me. They don't feel like they're going to come out. I like not having a cable. I love the little charge case that it's got. Works really well. They're just a joy to use, really. And what really sort of tipped me over is I've heard so many different journalists on podcasts, not trying to sell it or review it, but just in their day-to-day life talking about how good AirPods are. And this was like an impartial view. It wasn't an advert, it wasn't a review, and they just go on about how good they are, and it's just the convenience. And already I'm loving them. I mean, they are an amazing piece of kit. So if you can't afford AirPods, I would say go for the QCYs. I wouldn't really recommend the i7s, although they are very cheap, but the QCYs sound better charging method, and for me personally they're more comfortable because you can actually change out. There's 3 different sizes. I've got the smallest one here, but there's 3 different sizes of push-in, but obviously I realise it's not for everybody, but for me, I'm really happy to have my AirPods. I've got to put them away now because they're a Christmas present to me from my wife, so I'm not going to be able to use them for a month or so, but yeah, I recommend AirPods. Alright, thanks for watching.